Okay. Hi, hello, hi. So, this video is for those thinking about running their own Artist Alley table or booth, or just wanting to break into the convention space in general, a checklist of sorts. Hopefully, I can highlight some things to be prepared for before you set up your first table, and maybe even a few things that veteran table artists might have not thought about. So, let's get started. Spoiler alert, here's the checklist. Feel free to screenshot this for later use. Presentation, display. It's the most important aspect of any booth.
That is the first step on your path, young man.
Look at your booth. Are you vibing with it? Are you feeling it? Does it look ratchet?
Holy stinking super crap!
Tell me, are you interested what's at your booth? Can you see it from across the convention hall? Zoom out. Zoom all the way out. Zoom all over there. Zoom out. Can you see what's on your booth? Can you see what's on your booth with 600 people in between you and your booth? Are they going to be motivated to navigate through 600 people to get to your art out of everybody's art? Okay, imagine this. You're a rich, snot-nosed money gremlin. I want your money, but you're way over there, and I need you over here. How do I get your arthritis ass, wallet too heavy, 4-eye looking self over here? I need you to jogger mom all the way up to my booth. That is my goal. How do I accomplish this? The biggest and most important thing in convention selling is presentation. It's your display. It's what's going to get people to come from across the hall to your table. It doesn't matter how good your art looks. If I can't see it and recognize that that's something I want from far away, from 30 feet away, with 600 people in between me and you, I'm not going to come up to your table to see how good your art is. So that is the most important thing that we're going to talk about today. I gotta distract you with the bling bling, the shiny stuff, the hentai body pillow, if you will. Who is your audience? Dangle their greatest desire in front of them. Blow it up. Make it bigger. Bigger. Even bigger. Yet now I have you. That sparkle in your eye. I can smell it. The money's flowing.
Here it comes, baby.
Okay, you've been accepted to your first show. You're walking through the door. First things first, what are you bringing with you? Toss a tablecloth over that MFer. Nobody wants to see your bare-ass, pasty-looking table. Trust me, we want to make a good first impression, a foundation for your beautiful artwork. And on top of that, literally, layers. Just like your personality, a little table runner never hurt no one. Maybe add a second, an assortment of fine fabrics, if you will. Okay, let's talk about what goes on your table. And hold up. We're not talking about the art yet. We're talking about infrastructure. And I know a lot of the Americans out there don't know what that is. However, everything laying flatter than your favorite anime waifu ain't the play, friend. Boxes, grid cubes, and shelves. That's what we're talking about. We need to get that art upright. We need to get it to be seen.
You know how guys at the pool are always sucking in and flexing and trying to look buff? I'm like that.
Okay, backdrops. Not every show allows them, but if they do allow you to put up a display behind you, I definitely recommend it. You don't want to be advertising the table behind you, so you want to put something up. Just make sure to check the rules of whatever show you're going to see what they allow and what they don't. That's definitely a thing to put on the checklist. You'd be surprised at how weird some rules can be at certain shows, so make sure to check on that. There's a lot of different options out there. There's the print wall, or anime wall, some people call it. It's really great for large products or prints or apparel. Also, a more pricey option is the tension fabric displays. They're really great for one image large displays. If you're wanting more of a gallery feel, Pro panels are a really good option. They're pretty heavy and a little tricky to travel with, especially if you're flying. So I don't typically recommend them to beginners, but that's definitely an option to consider. Also, just 2 tripods and a crossbar is super effective. There's a reason so many people still use it. Just throw some fabric over it and pin your prints. It's super cheap. It's super easy. People can see it from really far away. It's very effective. That's why half the tables in any artist alley is utilizing this method. So don't feel like you need some big elaborate display, especially when you're just starting out. I will put some links down below of budget-friendly tripods and photo backdrops that can help you get started. Okay, products. What are you actually selling at the show, right?
What are you selling?
That's obviously a super important part. And I'll go into manufacturing and production in a completely separate video, and we'll talk about numbers and where to get things made and all that, and go through like lists of things that I've gotten made and, you know, the different types of products that are common at shows, right? But for this video, let's think about what you want to bring to the show physically, and then we can kind of delve in on how to actually get that done, right, in a separate video. So, you know, are you going to bring prints? Are you going to bring enamel pins? Are you making a zine? Do you have plushes? Do you have handmade goods? Maybe you're bringing jewelry. These are all things to think about. Like, does that work for your brand? Do all these products make sense together? You know, what's the profit margins on those? Is it, you know, safe to produce this thing when you're, you know, new to the convention space and you don't know if it's going to sell right away? You know, maybe you want to ease in with prints, which have, you know, a low cost but a high profit margin. So these are all things to think about. So it's always good to kind of, you know, do a test setup and see like what is needed to, you know, fill out your booth, right? If you're having trouble figuring out your table setup, I recommend sketching it out first. It can really help the planning process before buying a bunch of things that you might not use or might not like in the end. So for a lot of my products and prints, I do self-printing here at home. I use the Canon Pro 1000, a pretty big investment right up front, but if you do have your own printer, it is a really easy way to get started, and then you can kind of do prints on demand and you don't have to worry so much about the quantities and trying to get a better price to buy things wholesale. So it is a great way to go. However, I wouldn't just go out and buy a printer day one. I would try to figure out, you know, if this is something you actually want to do and stick with. And if it is, then I think it's a great way to go. However, I'll go more into this topic when I do my production and manufacturing video. Make sure to have sleeves or bags for your products or prints at a convention. It's pretty standard at this point. There's nothing worse than carrying around a loose print and getting it destroyed 2 minutes after you bought it. It's not a great experience for the customer, so make sure to have some sort of packaging. Even if it's minimal, it'll go a long way. I would definitely make sure to think about storage and what you're going to use to travel with your product en route to a convention. You don't want to see half your product destroyed because it traveled poorly and was loose in a bag or something. So definitely make sure to think about that. I found that they make boxes in almost every size imaginable. So if you have like a weird shaped, you know, print or product that you sell a lot of, it might be worth it to, you know, find a box that fits it just perfectly just for travel purposes. I really like these roll luggage suitcases. They're really great for prints. You can stuff a ton in there and they keep them super safe whether you're flying or going to a local show. So if you're going to have a lot of prints, definitely think about investing in some sort of suitcase. If you're going to be traveling with a lot of backdrop poles, a golf suitcase is what I use. It's not the most convenient, but it definitely fits everything in there. It's a little tricky to get into smaller Ubers. However, I have seen some people use rifle cases. If you don't mind getting extra checked at the airport every single time, that can be a great option as well. Okay, easy to forget things, but also super important things. Water. Bring some goddamn water. Y'all looking like SpongeBob out of water, raisin ass fools out here. Bring some frickin' water. You can't leave your booth very often. Hydrate. I see people dropping like flies out there. Bring some water. You're going to want cash so you can make change. You're going to want a card reader for credit card sales because it's 2023. Hand sanitizer so you don't get a cold. A face mask so you don't get a cold. Business cards so people know who you are after they leave your table, a name sign or a QR code with social media links so you can become social media famous, mace for every creepy dude who wants to be your best friend and never leaves, a friend if you have any, just to give you a pee break, a Be Right Back sign in case you don't have any friends, chargers, battery backup, and a phone are super helpful. Also, very important,
deodorant.
Please, deodorant. Toothbrush, toothpaste, don't forget that. Your hopes and dreams, super important. Also, snacks.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
And something to draw with when the show inevitably becomes dead and you have nothing else to do.
Okay, maybe obvious, but make sure to apply to the show that you want to get into.
I know it's been a while, but with great power comes a great amount of paperwork. Wait, I have to do how many of these things?
A lot of applications will drop 6 to 8 months prior to the show, so you're going to want to check their website and figure out what the process for that is like. A lot of shows are juried, some are first come, first serve. They all are a little different, so you want to make sure you figure that out, do your research. After that, make sure to pay your invoice. So let's assume that you've been accepted, you got an acceptance letter, but invoices might not come at the same time. Sometimes they'll be like weeks later or even months later. So just make sure you're keeping an eye out on that. That'll be really important to actually get in. After that, you want to figure out your hotel and travel situation if it's not a local show. Also, some hotels will double or even triple their prices during convention weekends if the show is in a big city and is really popular, so make sure that doesn't catch you off guard. After that, you're going to want to figure out your load-in information and setup day information. Oftentimes, the convention will send this out a couple weeks prior to the show, but sometimes they've done it just a couple days before, so don't be afraid to email a venue if you're confused and you haven't gotten that information. You're going to want to know your load-in times, your setup times, and like your table location. You'll also want to figure out if the show has a designated setup day or if you have to come a couple hours early, a day prior, or the day of. So the only thing left after that is to figure out where your badge pickup is and what that might require. You might need a driver's license or even a COVID vaccination card to attend the show, so you want to definitely know that prior to walking in day one.
Hey, so I showed a lot of artist booths in this video. Don't copy them, use them as inspiration. Don't want to show up to the prom wearing the same dress as somebody else. That's not cool. Just so you know, disclaimer, just leaving that here, just for those who, we're thinking about it. Just maybe don't.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If there's other topics in regards to art and marketing that you would like to discuss, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you could give me a like and subscribe, that would go a long way to helping me out.
Hey! It's pretty comfy up on this bridge. How are you doing down there?